Good afternoon, everybody. Hello and welcome to another great webinar here at Recruiting Daily. My name is Ryan Leary here with Recruiting Daily. We've got a great presentation today with our own famous Dean DaCosta. He will be on in just a few minutes. But before we do, I want to go through some housekeeping items for the webinar. Make sure everyone understands that you can hear us, we cannot hear you. So we will not be able to respond to your questions vocally. However, you can ask questions during the webinar, and we know there will be a lot of questions coming through, and that is great. Just use the questions and answer panel on the right-hand side of your screen. You'll see a dashboard there, so feel free to drop any questions that you have for the webinar in there today. We will try to answer as many as possible. When we have these types of webinars, we do get a lot of engagement. So we will pick them and we will go with them as they are relevant. Any ones that we do not get during the time, we'll get them at the end. We can go back in the presentation and ask those questions. The webinar is being recorded. There is no slide deck for today, just the first couple of slides, but this is being recorded. So everything that we're going through today, you will have a recording of that shortly after the webinar today sent out. With that being said, we have to thank Lever today for being our partner on the webinar. So thank you, Lever, for making this possible for free for everybody on the call. This is one of our very popular webinars, and so we're going to have a great time. And we have a representative here from Lever today. Alicia, is on the call. She is the Director of Content Marketing. That's right?
Yes. Hi, Ryan. Thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, so sorry about that. I knew it was Director of Content Marketing because I love that title and I love that role, but I just couldn't get it out properly. So let me pass it off to you. You can go through. I don't want to intro you. I'll let you do that and kind of share what Lever is, what you guys have going on, and then we'll kick off the webinar in just a few minutes, guys.
Awesome. Thank you, Ryan, and thanks everybody on the call today. I'm Alicia Garibaldi, as Ryan mentioned, Director of Content Marketing here at Lever, and just wanted to give you all a quick introduction to our Chrome extension before we get started today. So if we can go to the next slide, I'm just going to talk a little bit about how most ATSs that you're probably familiar with, they focus simply on tracking inbound candidates. The amazing thing about a recruiting platform that can also track proactive sourcing, referrals, and then nurturing talent is that you can reap the benefits of those products. So our research based on 1,000 customers and 4 million candidates shows that sourced candidates are twice as efficient to hire, which I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with on the line, than traditional job applicants. And referred candidates are 10 times more efficient to hire than those inbound talent. So in a scarce labor market, recruiters and talent acquisition professionals, they really have to go outbound and source the talent that they want to come work at their organization. So at Lever, on the next slide, we stand out in our premium candidate experiences. So we have an amazing UI. If you want to check out Netflix, Atlassian, Etsy, just a few companies that leverage Lever to hire great talent, you can see what that interface looks like. And then we also have a Chrome extension, which I was going to talk about before Dean gets started kind of demoing everything. So on the next slide, you can see that Chrome extension a little bit more. And what's cool about this is you can actually be on LinkedIn. As you can see, Conrad, our product marketing manager, is up on the screen, and up on the right, you can see the pop-up from Lever where you can easily drag and drop talent into the Lever portal. So it makes it really easy to do everything at the click of a button. And on the next slide, you're probably wondering, well, what if I already did this before? Will that create a duplicate within my recruitment platform? And the Chrome extension will actually identify if that candidate that you just sourced, if they exist within your talent pool already, aka, Lever or whatever recruitment platform that you're using, or if they're new to the system. So it identifies that with different backgrounds you'll see on the Chrome extension, so that it really aggregates and keeps one profile per candidate across the entire team within your organization. And with that profile, you can see notes from hiring managers and other people that might be involved in the recruiting process. We all know hiring now is a team sport. So it has all of that in one place, one profile, to keep you super organized. And last but not least, on the last slide, because I know we're eager to get started on the live demo, is here at Lever, we have 3 core products: Lever Nurture, Lever Hire, and Lever Talent Intelligence, which really helps you report and forecast for all of the C-suite and executive teams that you might be meeting with. So definitely check us out. And thanks again for joining the webinar today. I'll hand it back over to Ryan and Dean to get started.
Awesome. Thank you. And I will say, if you guys are into marketing automation or recruitment automation and you are into messaging candidates, you definitely want to check out Lever Nurture. It's giving you ability there that is not available in so many other platforms. So definitely check that out. Hey, Dean, I'm going to make you the presenter.
Cool.
So clear off your screen with whatever bad things you have, because we are getting ready to kick this puppy off. You should see it.
Can you all see my screen?
There we go. We've got your screen. So fantastic. So let's kick this thing off. This is the 20 Chrome extensions that every recruiter, I think I got that, must know about. Dean, I'm going to pass it off to you. You don't need an intro, so take it away.
All right, cool. Thanks. Good morning or afternoon, depending on where you're at. So first of all, anybody that knows anything about me knows I talk fast. The odds on us only getting 20 out of this is slim and none. We're probably going to be in the 30s to 40s. So be prepared. First thing we're going to do, because I want to talk a little bit, is I'm going to talk. And while I'm talking, you're going to notice my computer doing stuff. I'm not doing anything. I'm not touching it. I'm not messing with my keyboard. I'm not doing anything. It's doing it all for me, automated, using a Chrome extension called Psyduck, Sideex. What I did a while back is I went ahead and let it record the keystrokes and mouse keys that I used to do the search you see up there, which is just a .com search for job developers, and make sure they have Gmail emails. As you can see, it ran the search, opened up JobJet, and JobJet grabbed all the people in there and put it into a list for me. So now all I have to do is go to my list. Now, this is my test script, not the one I actually use every day. The one I use every day, or once a week actually, also has it opening up tools and going to the anytime and selecting 1 week, because frankly, I've done them all. So all I need to do is see if there's anything new every week, and it automatically does it. The script that I use all the time also opens up JobJet and starts emailing people for me out of JobJet immediately. So I don't have to do any of that work. So while this script is running, I am on my other monitor working, doing other things, knowing this is already doing it for me. I've got about 30 scripts done to where I don't have to do anything. I literally push a button and they all run and I can do other things. This is a great automation tool that just saves you all the trouble in the world you can imagine. It's called Psyduck, Sideex, and there it is right there. It's real simple. It is so simple a caveman can figure it out. And if not, you guys can email me and I'll help work you through it. But that's the first Chrome extension. I'm all about ROI, time. If I can find a way to do something 2 seconds quicker one way than the other way, if I do that thing 100 times a day, that's 200 seconds, and that's 3-4 minutes. That's a lot of time. And so I'm all about it. And this particular one is fantastic in that it runs quick and easy and simple. So if you guys have questions, please go ahead and put them in the box. I'll try to keep an eye on them, or somebody will grab me and tell me. If you see something on one of my screens that and I don't talk about it and you want to know what it is, let me know and I'll tell you. As long as we're here though, I'm going to go down to right here. You're going to notice this thing here. I call it the box. This is coming from a tool called Seekout. And basically what Seekout's done is they've created it to where if you pull up a profile and it's somebody they have in their system, you'll get this little box and it will bring out their name, their title, company, location, education, all bigger than you normally would get. If you look just below that, you see somebody else, and that's not even close to the amount of information that you're getting here. In addition to that, you can actually push a button on some of these, and something will pop up explaining to you what the different technologies are. It doesn't work when you share a screen, so but when you're not sharing a screen, it works really, really well. And what this does is allows you, if you do a Google search, to know, hey, Seekout's got these people. I know I can get emails, phone numbers, whatever, and go right there over to them. Now, Seekout is mainly for the US and Canada, but you'll notice that even if the people aren't in the US, Canada, they still may have them. So it doesn't mean you still can't do non-US and Canada things. So as long as we're on the subject of Seekout, I'm going to go into Seekout and show you quickly two very big things to me. Three big things. One is Position Magnet. Position Magnet is an AI. It's one of the best AIs around. And what I'm going to do is look for Amazon and software engineers. So what it's doing, it's going through its 100 and how many million people, looking for everybody who says they work at Amazon software engineer and creating a persona, and then finding people that match that persona. And there you go, there's 68,000 people that match the persona of what a software engineer at Amazon. It says it, whose backgrounds are similar to people currently in the role of software engineer at Amazon. So it's creating persona. And then the best part about this AI, which is different than most AIs, you get your results back and that's it, you're done over. You can still use all these things on the side to narrow it down further if you want. So that's the good thing about this particular AI. Now, mind you, this is only one of two AIs that this particular tool has. The other AI is when you create a project, you get 3 people and it will start recommending people based on those 3. It says 3 seems to be the minimum. I prefer 5, and it creates a persona and then starts recommending you people based on that. Really cool and really accurate. So the newest thing with them, though, that I really like, besides the Google thing, is this expert thing. This is incredible thing. So what they've done is they've collected white papers, journals, books, speakers, conference attendees, everything into one place where you can go out and try to find people at. So as an example, let's say I put in Java, and we'll just put in the word Java, and then we'll add in software development, and that's it. Now you can go from 1968 up to 2018. Obviously, that'll change 2019 soon. Down here, you can only search patents, not papers or conferences, but it does search patents too, but we're not going to worry about it. We're just going to open up. And what's really cool about this is, as soon as it gets done, this does take a couple of minutes because they've got a lot of people in here, and this is a lot of work that they've done for you. This kind of a search on your own can take hours to do. While it's doing that, well, actually it's done now. So see, it found 247,000 people, but here's the really cool part. I know sometimes you get people like managers, I really don't want to see people from LinkedIn. The public profile part of Seekout is basically LinkedIn. So what we're going to do is say, no, we don't want people from LinkedIn. We don't want people that they know have a LinkedIn profile. Not to say that they still won't. We just don't know for a fact that they do. And we just don't want to see them. So if we wait a minute, I believe if I remember correctly, it was about 68,000 or 78,000. I don't remember. I kind of went over it really fast. So we got to wait for it to run. It does take a minute, especially when we're sharing a screen. We should be looking at 176,000. Wow, I messed that number up pretty bad. Now, why it's doing that, this is for engineering stuff. The one over here, life sciences expert, is for healthcare, medical, and stuff like that. So for those of you who look for that, they've got that covered too. Really, really, really a cool tool. And does go out, and they will try to find you contact information and everything like that. So they do all that stuff. This is going to take, like I said, it takes a few minutes because there are a lot of people. I mean, if we're at 176 without LinkedIn profiles, there's probably over 400,000 with. So it's going to take a minute. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of move on, and I'll come back to it when it's figured it out. And they have a Chrome extension, which finds contact information. You saw what it did on a Google search, so no need to pin that wheel there. This is HireTool, and the reason I'm going into this one is because I want to show you something new with HireTool that I've recently found. You see this over here? This is their candidate insights that they've recently done, to where you get to see the number of people that they are showing that have the skills you're looking for. And as you change over here, it changes. So I just added Java and it changed. Let's see what happens if we add object-oriented design. We had 930, now we're down to 86,000. You get candidate insights, and then you get candidates personas. And that's basically where they're trying to create a persona of what somebody might look like. Like right now, we don't have a whole lot of info, so you don't have much of a persona. But here's where the insight. So when you're doing this, you can just keep doing things until you now say, okay, now I'm down to 1,500 people. That's what I want. Let's search. Let's let the AI do its thing. Um, so this is really pretty cool. It's one of the things I like about them is that it gives me a quick reference to what the talent pool is probably like. Now, mind you, I don't have it in a specific location. So I'm going to actually add a location. I'm going to actually add the greater Seattle area, and let's see what that does. That changes it down to 6,075. So this 6,075 people, they're saying, with the title of software something, so it could be software engineer, software developer, whatever, and Java and object-oriented design, OOD. And as you can see, there's all sorts of cool stuff here, lots of info. So there you go. This is an about number. I find it's fairly accurate, about 80% to 90% accurate. So that's a good thing. And that's what I want to show you about Hydro. Hydro Tool has a Chrome extension, and you guys have seen enough of Hydro Tool to know everything else it does. So I'm not going to kind of go into too much detail there. I'm actually going to leave it and go back here and say, this is still, there's results. It's still having a problem getting all the results in because of sharing a screen eats up resources. So that means this takes longer. So we're not going to wait on it. We're just going to move on. So next thing, this tool is called Lead 411. This tool, if I'm moving fast, let me know because I tend to do that, is a really cool tool. So basically, you can put in any of these categories you want to do research on people, company, find people, whatever. So I'm going to put in, I keep picking on developer. It's just kind of what I do. I don't know why. So I'm going to pick on the word developer. We're going to just pop that in there. I'm not going to worry about any of these other things down here right now. I am going to go ahead and pick a skill, and I'm going to pick on Java. If somebody has a job they're looking for or a skill they're looking for, they're struggling with, let me know. I'll use it instead. So we have it. So we already got one. Now over here, we got email filter. I can say, don't care if they have one or not, has an email, verified email, has a LinkedIn profile, doesn't have a LinkedIn profile, has direct dial, has direct mobile. I'm not going to worry about any of that stuff. I'm just going to let it go. And now I'm going to show results. Now this can take a minute. I did put a location. Oh, I guess it can't take a minute. There we go. So there are 166,000 people that meet the qualifications. And as you can see, I'm seeing 100 records. Some have emails, some don't. Some have direct dial home phone numbers, some have work phone numbers, some have cell numbers and other numbers besides. But for me, I don't really care. This particular person, Mark Johnson, works at Microsoft. I can get their work email. Matter of fact, I don't have to. It's right there. But I'm just saying if I needed to, I could. Now, they get their money by your download. You pay for the downloading. I'm not paying for jack. So I've got a couple of little toys for this. So one, I created using Data Miner, which is a scraping tool, a way to go ahead and scrape this info. So I'm going to run it and let you see what we get. There we go. I got their company name, I got their name and their email, I got their phone number, and I got what they do. That's all I need. That's all I need. Now you get 200 rows because it skips a line. Nothing I can do about that. It's just the way this page is designed. But you're going to get 100 people you can start emailing and contacting right away. Quick, simple, easy, and works really, really, really well. If you don't like using that particular one, you can use this one, which is called Instant Data Scraper. But this one's a little interesting in that, one, it doesn't work on all sites like none of them. No scraper works everywhere. Like this one's waiting and waiting. That means it probably is struggling to pull these people. So, it got them. So you see the way it highlighted that? Now, if it highlights the wrong area, you just say, try another table, and you keep going until you get the right table. So we got their LinkedIn URL. We got where they're at. We got their company name. We got some other information here. We got their name, phone number, their email separate. So this separates stuff a little more. It gives you some junk, but you can just delete that with the CSV, which you can download, and this is free. But it separates it a little bit better, a little bit prettier than the Data Miner one. But either way, you've got what you need. And
hey, Dean, can you talk about Lead 411? Is that a free tool? People are asking. Is this free or is this a paid version?
It's free to a point. That point is you get to see all this, but to download it is where they make their money. You have to pay to download. That's why I'm showing you a way of round downloading. You don't have to download this way. Also, it's an auto scroll, so that means if you keep going down, you're going to get more and more people. Now, I'm lazy. I hate auto scroll. So we're going to wait here a minute. Like I'm on 400 records out of 69. So I'm going to use a tool called Scroll It. So what I'm going to do, first thing I'm going to do is right click. I'm going to go to scrolling and I'm going to scroll down, infinite scroll down. Now, unless of course it doesn't work because of sharing screen. As you can see, it's scrolling. I'm not doing anything. It's just scrolling. So while it's scrolling, I'm in my other monitor working. When it's done scrolling, then I go back. You see how the record number's jumping from 7 to 8 to 9 to whatever? What I'm going to do now is stop it because I don't want to keep going, assuming I can. It may have locked up because some sites lock it up. We got 800 records right now. If I went ahead, up, there we go. We can stop it now. Let's stop scrolling. If I go back up here and use my instant data scraper, I'm going to be able to pull all 900 records. And I'm good to go. I mean, 900 records, a lot of people, actually, it's still scrolling, interesting enough. Yeah, it's done. So now it's done. See, it told me when it was done scrolling, so now it's done because I stopped it. And so now if I come up here to instant data, to the instant data scraper, and give it a minute, it will pull all of these people, which should be about 1,100 records. So there'll be 2,200 lines, but 1,100 records. Now, like I said, it is going to take a minute. And here we are. They're all here. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, actually, that's right. The instant data scraper will not skip a line. It's data miner does. But as you can see, they're all right here. So we're good to go. A lot of people. And we just picked up 1,000 people, 1,100 people. Pretty cool. And like I said, it's free. It's the downloading that appears to pay because I'm not paying for it. And I'm not on a free trial. So from what I read into everything, you pay for downloading. And if they don't have an email right away and you push the research, you'd pay for that. But I'm not going to push the research because, frankly, if I know he works for Henry Shines and his name is Mo's right and he's seen him develop, I can figure out his email on my own, pretty easily for free. So I'm not going to pay for it. I don't like paying for anything if I don't have to. Which brings us to our next tool. I'm not sure how to pronounce this, by the way. trgtr.io, whatever. So I just did a search on Boeing. I didn't put a name in here. I didn't put a job function. Let's go ahead and put in systems engineer so people don't think all I do is pick on developers. So I am now looking at a whole bunch of people who are in the systems engineering space, which means it could be project manager, program manager, lean manufacturing. I mean, there's a whole lot of things. And as you can see, I got 400 and some odd, 42,000 of them with emails. Work, I don't really care. I don't mind emailing somebody at work. Now, if you're going to just do work emails, my recommendation highly is don't do more than 20 a day. Because if you do, their servers are going to say, okay, whoa, you too many emails coming from one place. So do 20 a day. But remember, you're getting, if they have a LinkedIn profile, in this case, you're going to get it. And so you might be able to use tools like Seekout, Hire Tools, Zap Info to get more information on them. Now, how do you get them out of here? You see the little red line around here? Well, that's courtesy of our wonderful tool, Instant Data Scraper, which will get us their name, their little doohickey, their email address, and their little Tigert thing. It doesn't get us there. It's not getting us the LinkedIn URL, but not a big deal. Both Seekout and Hire Tool, as well as Zap Info, don't need the LinkedIn URL to find people. Zap Info, which is a great scraping tool, will not work on this page yet, but it will eventually. And Data Miner, I don't remember if I created a recipe. You need a recipe. I don't believe I created a recipe because Instant Data Scraper worked. Yeah, I didn't create a recipe. I would need to create a recipe. I didn't. So there you go. Another great tool to find people. Not everybody they have in here has a LinkedIn profile. A lot do, but not everybody. But this is quite great, simple, and it's 100% free as of right now. There is a subscription plan, at least for what I'm doing, it's free. As you can see, they have a plan, status, coins. You get 220 coins. It resets in 3 weeks. So once a month, you get 220 coins, and that allows you to do some extra things. Frankly, I don't need it. It's given me more than enough information. I actually did use this tool. I got about 500 people out of it, all work emails. I uploaded it into Zap Info. Zap Info found me about 60% of personal emails. I uploaded the rest into Hire Tool. It found me all but 10, and then I did that into Hire Tool, and it found me all of them. I had all personal emails. My hands-on time to do it was only about 3 minutes, just moving CSVs from one to downloading and uploading back and forth, but not much time. And that's pretty cool when you're considering to get that many people that quickly. So with that in mind, I want to show you a few things here. Now, if you see something on here, you want to know what it is, you need to ask. I have a lot going on. But in this case, all I want to do is show you mainly is Deepsense. Deepsense is a tool that can really help you when it comes to creating an email that will get people's attention. So what we're going to do is, this is Deepsense right here. It's like a crystal nose, but significantly cheaper. As you can see, it's telling you things about me. It's telling you I'm reliable, optimistic, and persuasive. Okay. Down here, it's saying you how to communicate. Be accommodating, expect them to do the same, focus on people and culture aspects role, compliment them about their personality. Don't rush them to make quick decisions, avoid saying anything that makes the role sound risky, avoid interrupting them when they are speaking. All good things, by the way. Social sites, so you can use this to cross-reference and find more info on me. Attitude and outlook, need for autonomy, all this good stuff. It's actually pretty accurate. And I use me because I know myself well enough to know what is an attitude and outlook is correct. The need for autonomy is a little off. I really prefer being autonomous. I don't really need Big Brother watching me. The rest of it is actually pretty darn accurate, except the action oriented should be higher, but that's okay. It's only based on my LinkedIn profile because that's where I'm at. This will work in LinkedIn, it'll work in Gmail, it'll work in a lot of places. I have used this to create a lot of emails, and with it, I find I get an extra 25% reply rate. Without it, I mean, I still get a good reply rate. I get with my emails, I get between 85 and 90% reply rate, but with this, I get an even better reply rate because it allows me to focus my email a little bit better. Like I said, it's like a crystal nose, just a lot cheaper, and in my opinion, a lot more accurate because they actually have a dual system. They don't just use one method for coming up with this. They use both of the most highly recognized methods for deciding personality traits and stuff like that. So that's something I really, really, really like about it. So the next thing I want to do, and you guys need to pay a lot of attention to this. This is called a start.me page. This is the one that I created called SSAR, Staffing, Sourcing, and Recruiting. This is not available to anybody. If 50 copies of my book, Recruiting the Casa Style, which you can find on Amazon for $12.99, are sold by the end of March, I'm going to release this to the public. Now you're probably going, okay, why would I care? Why you would care is because on here, and this has taken me 3.5 months to put together, is literally every tool, methodology, web page, cheat sheet, conferences, books, podcasts, everything you can imagine within the staffing, sourcing, and recruiting world. And I will be maintaining it, which means if it's something like I just removed a custom search engine, didn't work anymore, I just added 4 tools today that I found. Everything you can imagine is going to be right here available to you, quick and easy. You won't have to go anywhere else for your sourcing tools. You won't need to go on Facebook and say, what's the best tool for finding emails 30 times a week? Not you, but whoever does it, because 30 times a week the question gets asked, because everything will be here. Anything new I find or anybody finds will be right here. If you find a tool or a method or something you think should be added because it's not here, my email's right there. Just email it to me. I'll check it out. If it's not there and it's good or better than something I already have, I'll add it. I'm going to maintain this. This is going to be free access to everybody, assuming 50 copies of the book get sold by the end of March. And that's just because it took me a long time to put this together. This is not the only page I'm going to release, though. So keep that in mind. There are going to be 2 other very important pages I'm going to release. So I'm going to show you them, and then I'm going to use this page to get to all the other things I want to show you. I'm also going to release CSE Utopia, which is I had 1,800 custom search engines. I got rid of duplicates, narrowed down ones that didn't work anymore, and I put them in here and gave them names and put them into categories. There's about 600 custom search engines here. They're categorized for the most part. There's some that might not be in the right place, but after a while, it got really old and tough on my eyes to do this. So as you can imagine, so this would also be getting released. And in addition to that, the other thing that would get released, and I would have a video 2 YouTube videos I'm going to put out explaining you how to get these and what to do with them, assuming I get released, is going to be this one, which is called Search Engine Utopia. Don't ask me. I just had a thing with the word Utopia, which has literally every single solitary search engine that I've been able to find. There's hundreds, if not thousands of probably hundreds, I doubt there's 1,000 of search engines for different things. DuckDuckGo, Bing, Yahoo, search engines to find people, search engines, what's this one here? Social media, dating sites. Yes, dating sites can come in really handy for those of you who don't know. My son Jeremy's a recruiter, and he helped solve one of the SourceCon Sourcing After Dark questions on his phone using OkCupid. I actually found it using one of those genealogical sites. So we each found it differently, but those sites can come in handy. You'd be surprised the information that's there. But there's just so many search engines here. I literally can do my entire job off of these 3 pages. I don't need to go anywhere else if I don't really want to. So just letting you know, this is what's coming. But like I said, I gotta get 50 just for no other reason, my time and the fact that I'm going to maintain the thing. And there'll be 2 videos that will get released on my YouTube page and put out on Facebook and all the different things before I release it, so everybody understands what to do, because there's different things to do. And if you're going to SourceCon, I'll be explaining it there. First, we're going to go now to this particular little engine. Find a Twitter list. Now, why would I give a hoot about finding a Twitter list? Well, let's do Java developer. Look what I got right here. All these things. Let's see. Google Cloud Platform Developer Advocates. A list of developer ambassadors for Windows Phone. iPhone Developer Creator Group. I mean, these are groups of people, have something to do with Java all over the place, with just boatloads of people as part of them. You can download that information, upload, let ZapInfo download it, and let it find you contact information and names and everything you can imagine. And that's what's cool about it. It makes it simple and easy for you to find the list that you want. And I'm not signed in. So I'm just going there, and now I'm going to open it up, and there's the list of people. And where you go here, you can look on subscribers and members. I'd go on members as soon as we get to members. Now, this might not be the best group because it looks like most of them are from the Orient based on this. But let's say this was the list we want. You just use ZapInfo right here to grab them. It will try to enhance them. And then whatever it doesn't do, you stick into Hire Tool, you stick into Seekout, and there you go, you're done. I took a list. It was Hadoop people. It was about 500 members. And again, hands-on time, about 3 minutes. I got everybody I wanted. You just got to find which one, but this is the quickest and easiest way I've been able to find to get a hold of lists, the simple and easy way. Really cool, really solves a great problem when it comes to Twitter. Now, Facebook. I'm not going to use my SSAR for this one. Facebook is the great untapped resource. So let's do math. I've said this many times. You guys probably heard me. LinkedIn says it's got 500 million people. That is an incorrect statement. By the time you get rid of duplicates and fake profiles and people who are no longer with us, blah, 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 you're down to about 240 million, with 60% of them being outside the US. It doesn't really matter. Facebook's got 3.5 billion, and they just got through cleaning it up, and they're going to clean it up again. They're still going to have about 300 billion people. 3 billion people, not 300 billion, 3 billion. So literally, according to statistics, 98% of people on LinkedIn that are alive are also on Facebook. So how do we search? This tool is called Intelligent Search. It's by Shane. It's one of the best there is. I'm going to look for nurses in the Seattle area, and I'm going to search. It's going to open it up. And as you see, I got a whole bunch of searches in this nurses in the Seattle area. Now, obviously, there's more than what's showing here. This is where I would use my scroller tool to let it scroll to the bottom and keep going until it gets through them all. And once it does, I use ZapInfo to grab them. So we're going to do that right now. We're going to use ZapInfo to actually grab these. So we're going to zap. We're going to do the bulk capture import extract from page. I think that's the right one. Don't quote me. It is going to tell me it's an infinite scroll. I'm not going to infinite scroll and get more. I just want to get these. And it's going to grab them and look, it's got them. Now this is checked. This is good. We're going to extract. It says enrich after extracts. That means it's going to enrich these people. It's extracting. It's done. We're going to open it up, and here they are. You got your Facebook URLs, which is all you really need to get more info out of Hire Tool or Seekout. It's already got an email for this person. So what we're going to do is we're going to push this. Even though I said enrich afterwards, I always enrich a second time just to make sure. So it's found an email address for that person up there, the very first person. I'll open that up in a minute to show you. It's found Facebook URLs for the rest. There's this.
Hey, Dean, as you're going through this, you keep mentioning Seekout and Hire Tool, which triggers a bunch of questions here as far as being free versus paid. Does everybody have access, and are they free?
Okay, one step at a time then, and yes, I'll get to that. So as you can see, we have all this info and the Facebook page and the picture. And you can download the entire list. If you do something like Java development, there'll be a lot more emails and probably even LinkedIn profiles. Nurses are a little different, but this is pretty cool. And the reality is you're going to get where they work, usually, not always. In this case, you didn't, but you did get their Facebook URL. So as it relates to HireTool and Seekout, both tools have a free component. You get so many free per month, so many free per week, whatever the case may be. I don't remember those numbers right off the top of my head, but they both have free components. The Chrome extension is free for both, for sure, and whatever it does right there on your site. After that, the going into the tool itself, there is a free component. You get so much free. I don't remember the numbers. I think HireTool is 100 or 200, or I think it's 100 a week or 100 a month, and I think Seekout's the same. But the thing to remember is, even if you don't have access to those tools, you've got enough info. ZapInfo's paid and also has a free component, but it's really inexpensive. It's like $30 a month. You already have enough info here to really figure out who they are. You've got their Facebook URL, you got their name, you got their location, you got pictures. There's enough there. Usually to go one by one and figure out who they are. If for some reason you don't want to use ZapInfo to get the information, because like you notice it didn't get some things for some things, DataMiner has a one right here, I believe. Well, that's the group one. I don't want to use that one, but Facebook. I'll just go over here. That's right. They have an agreement you can't share on Facebook. Let me find Facebook. Yeah, see people search page. If I run that, look, boom, 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 boom. I got everything I need. I don't need another tool. I've got their name and I got the company. I can find, company. I can find their contact information on my own. Every company has a naming convention. Really simple to do. So don't. With or without those tools, you can get the job done. So I just want to make sure you know it. Now, one other thing I'm going to show you as it relates to Facebook, it also works with LinkedIn, is a tool called Dig. I love this tool. So what we're going to do is we're going to look under the word Java, and I'm going to actually be in Facebook, and we're going to get a Java user group. This is perfect because I want a group. I can use Dig. We're going to come down. You see it says F is Facebook. Get page likes, get group members, get event guests. So like this event we're on right now is on Facebook. If you said you're attending, I can get a list of everybody who said they're attending this thing. If you liked a page, like you're a Java developer and you liked a Java page, I can get you and everything about you. In this case, it would be a group member. What you would do is you put group members, put in your email, and just put dig it. And what would happen is you would get an email. That would provide you the following information. I'm opening up an example of one, just so you have it. You get an email that would give you their name, that would give you their Facebook URL, their name, where they're at, and if there's any other information. And again, you're still working off the same premise. You upload it to the other tools or do it yourself manually to find contact info. But what I like about it the most is the LinkedIn group one, because LinkedIn groups are so hard. So what you do is you go into the group, you scroll it to get to the bottom, which is what I did with this. And you go ahead, you get their entire LinkedIn URL, you get their name, you get their little title. But all I need is this. Do you know how many tools are out there that can use this just to find contact information on people? And if I don't want to do that, I still have their name and I still have their little where they work, that kind of stuff. And in this case, this particular list is only 100. I think this particular group is only 156 people. But that's what Dig can do for you. And what's cool about it is you can just go ahead and do other work while it's working behind the scenes, getting you the list. You can go do something else, which is what's really cool, because not only does it give you all the info you want, but it also saves you a boatload of time. Dig is, and it's a Chrome extension. It's a cool Chrome extension, one of my favorite Chrome extensions, actually. Interesting enough, something I have only been playing with for a little while because I was hesitant at first to do it. So moving right along, one of the other things that I wanted to make clear to you is if you are on a site and it says you don't have access, or you're doing something where you don't want people to know it's you, you need to use something called a VPN. This is a fairly newer VPN that I've been playing with that I really, really, really like. For one, it's free. For two, it's been updated recently, and I love it when they update things, because some of the other VPNs that you'll find on Chrome don't update. It's simple. You basically push the button and you're on. If you want to pick a different country, go ahead and pick a different country. And so if you're trying to get access to a site in Canada, it says you don't have access sites because you're not in Canada, you just make yourself in Canada, and then you have access to it. It's quick, it's simple. They update it regularly, which is something I really, really, really like. And they even have the what I call any capability. What I like about the any capability is when you push any, it says connect to a random IP address in order to just hide your connection. What they mean by that is they're going to hook you to a random IP address, but that random IP address is going to change every 10 seconds. And that comes in really handy for you if you do things like I do, where you really don't want anybody to be able to hone in on you, just want to move constantly. Comes in real handy with Big Brother LinkedIn. That's really cool. Another new extension, which isn't going to help you find people, but it's going to help you manage your Chrome extension better. And this has become my favorite now. Is custom Chrome extension manager. And why I like it so much is I have a lot of extensions, so it takes a little longer to load. Is one, it lists all your Chrome extensions with the ones you have active first, which I love. Two, it's easy to inactivate and activate them quickly. Three, you can group people. And lastly, you can look them up really quickly just by typing in the word. I'm just going to open up here. This is what it looks like. The ones that are active are first. If you look for one in particular, you can just type it in right there. You can group them together and turn them all on and off all at once. It's really cool, really simple. It does take it. The more extension you have, the longer it takes to load. I have about 400 and something on this particular Chrome. There it goes, thankfully. See, create a group. There's that. You'll notice all the ones that are active are up top. All the ones that are inactive are at the bottom. As you can see, I'm not joking. I have a boatload of them. Really, really, really cool. And one of the things I like probably the most of all the things I've done. Now, we're going to go into Eventbrite. Eventbrite is an interesting place to search in that it can become, it can be hard to search and get info. But I'm typing in event so I can find my Eventbrite search that I created. I think this is the right one. Let's see. I created the search. Yep, see, site, Eventbrite, people going to. And this is important. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in, I don't want to keep doing, I'm going to put in, I don't know if there is one, but I'm going to put in Hadoop. I'm going to change it up. So what we have down here is Eventbrite groups or Eventbrite things that have something to do with Hadoop. You see this one, we got only 4 people going. That's fine. I don't care how many there are or aren't. I just want to know there are some. So we're in here. This one actually hasn't happened yet. Down here, you see 4 people are going. You can use Zap Info to grab these people, and it will grab them and try to find more info on them as well. As you can see, I grabbed all of them. We're going to extract. Let's see what it does. We're going to view extract. Now, remember, I still have the Facebook people in here, and right here, it's still trying to update and get you more information about these people. Right now, we know their names, and we know there's something to do with Hadoop. I mean, they wouldn't be going to an Hadoop thing if they weren't. Eventually, you're going to get some pretty decent information about these people. You're going to, if there's Facebook URLs, LinkedIn URLs, whatever. This takes longer because Meetup doesn't provide you as much. So they have to do a lot of cross references. Meetup is one of the sites that's really, really hard to source out of. And this tool makes it easier. I'm not going to wait on it because I just don't want it. I'm actually going to clean out my entire Zap Info thing. But I just want you to know now, this particular string is in my SSAR. All this is already populates up there. What you have to do is add what you're specifically looking for. If you try to go into Eventbrite and do the search, it's gonna be tough to find people that have already said they're going, and that's what you need. You need people that have already identified, yes, they're going. Otherwise, it won't work. But if you do it this way, piece of cake. And this particular one is already in here. It's in industry conferences and groups because that's what Eventbrite's about, and it's the one that's right there. And it opens up, pre-populates. All you have to do is add in the specific terms of what you look for. I did Hadoop. If I did staffing, you get staffing. The top couple is going to be crap, but after that, you're going to see employee orientation. 25 people are going, and this will allow you to get old ones and new ones. That's a good part. It's hard to do that in Eventbrite, but like here, we got this one's from 2018, but I can still see everybody that said they were going and attended. So that's really cool. let's see here. I got a bunch of different things to show. So one of the things I'm going to share, and these aren't all Chrome extensions. I get that, so I apologize. So let me go ahead, and I am done with LinkedIn. Let me get at it. Let me do that. Normally I would sign out, but I don't want to waste time. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to activate Pitbull. Pitbull is a Chrome extension. It works with Pitbull. And the reason I'm activating Pitbull is because what I'm about to do really works well with Pitbull. So what I'm going to do is go into here. This is in Teletechniques. This is an OSINT site by Michael Basil. This is all of the paste bin type things. These are all paste sites where you have a bunch of code and you go ahead and you copy here, or you have a list you copy here, or whatever you're doing, you're copying here. What I'm going to do is look up something. So as an example, I'm going to look up Hire Tool. Just to look, actually, I'm not even going to do it. I'm going to look up based on one of my emails. Oops, hotmail.com. That's one of my emails. And we're going to get this. Now, the reason I was going to do a hire tool is you'll find out in a minute, is somehow somebody posted a list of people who attended a hire tool webinar from back last year sometime. So if I'm looking for a recruiter or a sourcer, this is gold, because you've even got their email addresses. But you might want to know more about them. Well, that's where the Pitbull tool comes in. You notice you go over an email, you see the P, push it, let it open, and look at all this information we just got about Miss Susanna Marie Conway, who, by the way, will be speaking at SourceCon coming up in 2 weeks. Look at all that information we have about her. And it's not just with staffing people. This will work with any email that's there publicly. Now, something to keep in mind, though, it does hit Pitbull, this particular extension, and LinkedIn don't play nice. So that's why I closed LinkedIn and then activated Pitbull. And when I'm done with it, I'll deactivate Pitbull so that LinkedIn will play nice again. That's one of the issues. LinkedIn and it doesn't play very nice. And that happens sometimes. But that's how simple it is. Now you're probably going, okay, great, you found me a bunch of staffing professionals. What good does that do me? Well, you know what? You could argue it doesn't do you any good at all. And that would be fine. But if we do it again, and this time we say Java development, and we even specify an email address. Oops, except I misspelled Gmail. That's not good. Let's try that again. Java development gmail.com. And we search. Look at what we get. And we already know there's at least one Gmail address there. This is from GitHub. This is a G list. So there's a paste bin. Let's go into the paste bin one. And you already, it's no longer there. That happens. That means somebody removed it, but it was indexed. So let's try this one. Here we go. We got an email right there, but we don't know much about him. So we know he's, actually we do. He's a PHP developer, San Jose, so we do. Let's see if Pitbull has any other information about him. May not. Ooh, look at all that we get. We get several people. Now we got to figure out who it is, except we've got the advantage in that we know he's a PHP developer and he's San Jose, California. So we could probably find it. But as you can see, it found a lot of them. And what I'm doing in this case, if I'm me, I'm like, okay, fine, there's a boatload of them. I don't really care. But why I'm looking for the one I want, let's see who else. Oh, look at the SAF software engineer at Visa. Well, guess what? We just found another one. Let's go. Senior consultant. Okay, that doesn't help me much. India, keep going all the way down to the bottom. And if you want, you could just put in, some information from here, like San Jose, and find them quicker if you want. But there's a whole bunch of stuff you can do with this. But as you can see, you're finding a whole boatload of information. It's not specifically him. We can add in a optional. Let's see if this helps us. California, US. Let's see. He might not be in California anymore, though. Let's see if Pitbull finds him or not. Oh, there we go. Is that him? And could lead design engineer. It's quite literally could be him. Email address still matches. So yeah, there you go. We just found him. Quick, simple, easy. Now we know if he's really somebody we want to talk to. It's not as simple and quick and automated as some of the other methods, but it works really well. And you're looking at, and you got to remember, there's a boatload of names in here we could be searching, and including phone numbers, by the way. But it's a way to find out more information about people. Where this will come in handy is if you just happen to find information on somebody out there on the web and they happen to show an email, but you want more info or a phone number or pretty much anything about it. The Pitbull tool is really cool. I'm going to see how simple it is to activate and deactivate. I just deactivated it. Now, For security purposes, I highly recommend you get this tool. This tool has come in really handy. It is a password checkup tool. It will let you know if the password or email or username combination you have put in there has come up on a leak, which means it's been hacked at one time or another. It's found a few of mine, so I've changed them. And as you can see, I'm green now, which means it hasn't found anymore. I haven't been to a site where it's found anymore. So I'm really ecstatic about that. This thing came in really handy because there was a lot more people that had a lot more of my emails and phone numbers and not phone numbers, usernames and passwords that had been found through hacks and stuff and put out there on the web. So this just stops it. And it's updated recently, which I love. I love extensions that update regularly. I hate the ones that don't, because that means I have no way of knowing for sure if they still actually work. While we're here on IntelliTechniques, these tools are all free. And as you can see, there are a plethora of them. I highly suggest you look at my YouTube page because I've done YouTube videos on a lot of these. I highly suggest you look at them, get a feel for them, because some of them can really, 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 really help you. Don't get in over your head. You see this right here? Don't play with it yet. Wait, I'm working on it and playing with it and making sure to tell you about the parts of it that you should play with and parts you don't want to play with. So, but the rest of these all here, they're really cool and they can help you a lot. So what I thought I would do is kind of go through some of the parts of this page just to give you a really good feel for it. As you can see, we do have healthcare. We have everything. There is nothing you cannot find in this, and I'm adding stuff constantly. In fact, the scheduling tool, I just added this category last night at 2 a.m. Well, I guess that would be this morning. The blog searching, I already had one, but I had it in a different category, and so I just added it along with another blog searching tool here. This creative design thing I've had, but I recently added this one. This one here, Women Who Design. For those of you looking for designer, I just found this site, and I thought it was fascinating. It's a Twitter directory of designers, graphic designers, UX. You can see they're all over here. But look at it, brings them to you. But look at, really, you got where they work, you got their name. This probably isn't even where she works. This is probably more likely her page where she shows her stuff. Most designer type people will have a place where they show their work, but these are all designers and stuff, easy and quick to get to, and mind-bogglingly easy. And it's free. This is all free. And there are several hundred people on this list from all over the world that are designers or illustrators or developers or whatever. And this is 100% free, and they're all women. For those of you looking for diversity, they're all women. So this is really cool. I found this about last week, I believe. So that's really cool stuff. These are some custom search engines that, yes.
Hey, Dean, we're coming up on the hour here.
All right.
So I want to get some Q&A in before. So I think we have just a few minutes left. So guys, obviously, we always go long when Dean's on. We all know that. So we expect it. We're gonna stay on just a few minutes late. So we're gonna answer some questions right now. So if you have to jump, we totally get it. This session is being recorded. You will get a copy of the recording within the next couple of hours, and it will be posted on the registration page. That's where you can go back and find it if for some reason you can't find that email. So keep an eye out in your inbox for that if you have to jump. If not, stay on for a couple minutes. Start dropping your questions in, and I'm going to filter through a bunch of these and ask away. So, Dean, let's just make the answers quick and easy and short and sweet as we can, and then we'll get as many in as possible. Way back in the beginning, you had, I believe it was called Psyduck. Is that what it was called? Someone asked about that. What was that? How do you spell that?
SIDEEX.
Okay, so Christy, you had that right. It's SID, but two E's, not one. So SIDEEX, Psyduck.
Yeah, can we interrupt for 1 minute real quick? Because this is something I was
down
there trying to show you. Bing versus Google.
Yeah, go ahead.
You can see there, I did a search in URL :resume Java developer Seattle. Look at the difference in the results between Bing and Google. Bing's on the left, Google's on the right. They're not the same. I have done an analysis on this. You will get about 70% redundancy, but you're going to get about 30% that are not the same. There are resumes and people you will find in Bing, you won't find in Google, and vice versa. This tool allows you to do both. And because you're doing it in Chrome, all the toys will work. So you got Jamie Macaroni. Jamie Macaroni does not appear in the first 10 pages in the Google results. So I'm going to presume they're not in there at all. Caleb Jones will appear, but he's on page 4. Jason Well appears over here, but he's on page 6, I believe. And then, but as you can see, you're getting a lot more targeted results on the left, and on the right, you get some junk. You're getting some junk. There's the Caleb Jones. I was wrong. I thought it was page 4. It's actually the bottom of page 1. So as you can see, you do get the results, and this is only makes it more obvious why you need to make sure you do these searches in both sites, because you'd be surprised at the differences in what you can get. And this proves it. I do this probably whenever I do a search, a Googling search, I'll come here first, and if in that first page I see differences, I say, okay, I need to run the searches on both pages. I'm done do it in Chrome anyway, so I'm still going to have all my play toys. If I see a lot of them are the same, then I don't. But this is a quick, simple way, and it is mind-boggling. It's why I always say Bing is more of a targeted search engine. If you kind of know what you want, go there. If you're not 100% sure, Google will bring you more results, almost twice as many results, but there's going to be more junk. You're going to deal with more junk in Google than Bing. It's just the way it is. All right, questions?
Yep, back to the questions. Okay, so can these be used in the UK, all of these extensions?
Okay, number one, I'm not in the UK, so I have no way of knowing. What I can tell you is when I've turned on my VPN using a UK IP address, every one that I showed you worked.
Okay, and now, here's we have another question.
Well, here's what I will tell you. If Seekout does not work in the UK or for the UK, instead of Seekout, use Who Knows. Use Amazing Hiring. I have a superset of tools. One's for US, Canada, one's for international. And so of the tools I showed you for sourcing, which Seekout Hire tool, those two are the main two I talked about for sourcing. When I go international, I tend to take Seekout out and I put in Who Knows, Amazing Hiring. And then there's another tool called Human Predictions I didn't get to show you that I also use for international, and within the US I didn't show it, but I use Engaged Talent. So I have a superset of tools that I use for international and for US and Canada. And for those of you that are on this thing, and this is the first time I've ever said this, make sure you email, let me know. I will get the list from Ryan of who's on it. Email me. And what I will do for you is if the 50 copies of my books are sold by the end of September, besides releasing my About Me pages, I will personally send you my superset list of tools, which is tools, my best top superset. If you can take away any tool you want but those, and I don't give a flip because I'm happy. And I can do my job and then some. And it will have international and it will have US, Canada. So you'll know which tools to use where and everything. And I will send it to you. So I'll get the list from Ryan. You email me. If the book gets sold, if enough copies get sold, I will then email, or not only give access to the About Me pages, but I'll email you my superset list.
Okay. Next. So Dean, you mentioned it just recently in this last answer about using VPN. We have a few questions asking why would you use a different VPN? What is the purpose of that?
What do you mean a different VPN? I mean, why would I want my IP address to show a different place than where I'm actually at? Is that what
assuming so? I guess, yeah. Let's go with that. I'm just reading the question direct. So, well, I guess maybe just explain why use a VPN in some of these situations.
Well, as an example, point in case, how do I know what tools work in the UK? I'm not in the UK, but if I put my VPN to make it look like I'm in the UK, I then can see what tools will work in the UK. Because if I'm using a tool that won't work in the UK, it won't work with me VPN'd into the UK. So that's an example. That's how I can test tools in other countries. If I want to find a list of Java developers working in the UK, it's going to be easier to do it from the UK than it is from the US because there's sites you can't add. When you're trying to get access to sites in another country, there are some sites you can and some you can't. Some sites will only allow you access if you are in that country. And so the VPN allows you to bypass that and trick them into saying, oh, your IP address shows you in UK. Okay, you can see the site because that's what it's using. These sites that are telling you you can or can't use them based on location are using your IP address. They're saying, okay, here's your IP. That IP address says you're in the US. Nope, doesn't work. So you have to be in the UK to use this site. And the IP address is your way around it. It allows you to know everything. Plus, like I said, there are just some sites that are only that only work in certain countries. But more importantly than that is you'll get access to more information or different information if you're in another country than in it. You'd be surprised if you say I'm in China and you do a search and you do a in URL Java developer Seattle and then do it based in the US, you're going to find there's a difference. Because you won't see certain things because you're not in the US, but others, you'll get some different results than you would if you're in the US. It's just the way it is. Sometimes I'll say I'm in the UK and search for people in America, knowing I'm going to see people I wouldn't see normally. It's hard to explain, but it's the way the site works. If you look up here right now, this is the Federal Elections Commission website, and I just searched under software developer. Look at all that information you get. You get their name, their title, their location, where they work. I can find an email address off of that real easy. And you can use either data miner or instant data scraper to scrape all this. This is an untapped resource. Nobody realizes this is happening. This is one of the cooler things out there. Moving along, questions.
Yep. Okay, so the extension for Dig. One, do you need to be a member of the LinkedIn group to be able to use Dig?
The LinkedIn group, yes, but there's a way around that too, but you won't need Dig then. If you go ahead and get the name of the LinkedIn group and then you do an X-ray into LinkedIn and then you put in the name of the group, you'll pull up a lot of people that are members of the group. You won't pull up everybody, but you'll pull up about 85% of them. And that's more than enough to get your job. Also, remember, a lot of LinkedIn groups have Facebook groups that are of the same name. But to be quite honest with you, I've noticed it's really easy because I just became a member of 3 Java groups like last week. Now, mind you, the difference being I have a GitHub page and I actually have code in there that I wrote. But you know how easy it is to create a Facebook page and then copy somebody else's code and put it in there. So when they back check you to see if you're really a developer or not, they'll go into GitHub. That's where they'll all go, and they'll say, "Oh wow, he actually codes too. Okay, let's go ahead and let him go." It's not hard to do. I know recruiters that have fake GitHub pages with code in there just so they can join groups. So not hard to do.
Okay. Shane's Facebook tool, Intelligent Search. Can you just explain where people can find that?
It's in the Chrome store. Look up Intelligent Search. Now, right there, it shows LinkedIn and Twitter. It only does Facebook right now. The LinkedIn and Twitter has been removed temporarily. It will come back at some point in time. Now, I love his search, but there are others you could use too. If you don't want to use that one, there are others. As an example, both Seekout and HireTool have Facebook searching capabilities. In fact, I'm not even going to go there. I'm going to go over to the SSAR to show you some others. So I have a whole category for Facebook right down here. And you're going to see a whole bunch of these. Social search on Facebook. There's a search on Facebook Chrome extension. People Find a Thor is a people search page. You can just add your filter and all these things, and then you can just search on Facebook, and you can add things. You can do all sorts of things. So if I add a filter of lives, I can then say where it lives. If I add a filter of employer, I can say employer. So there are a lot of ways to search on Facebook, and my SSAR has literally all of them. Or let me rephrase that, it doesn't have all of them, but it has the biggies. There are always more. And that's what the big deal is. If I get this released, my email's there. I'm planning on crowdsourcing this, which means you guys are going to help me keep track of new tools, because Lord knows I can't do it all by myself. These 3 About Me's that I'm going to release took me almost 4 months to put together by myself. So you can imagine how hard it's going to be to upkeep it, but I'm going to do the best I can to keep it updated. I can keep it updated with ones that don't work anymore, but adding new ones, I might need a little help with that. So hopefully I'll get the help. Next question.
Okay. Did you go over how to find an email on Stack Overflow?
I haven't done it. I could do it.
That pizza looks amazing. Go back to that pizza.
What pizza?
Go back to Facebook real quick.
That's my daughter. She this says nothing says I love you with a slice of sushi pizza. Oh, it's a sushi pizza. That's actually my daughter.
Yeah, I like that pizza. That looks good.
She's actually getting ready to go back to school to learn to be a developer, and this is my pride and joy, my granddaughter.
Oh, so cute.
So I'm sorry, guys. I know you all don't give a flip about my granddaughter, but Sorry.
Sorry.
Okay, let me get to Stack Overflow. Let's see.
Yeah.
There's only about 3 things on Stack Overflow. So let's go to Stack Overflow, search Stack Overflow. This is a Chrome extension that lets you search Stack Overflow. Once you're in there, there's a variety of ways you can look for phone numbers and email address stuff on Stack Overflow. There are a couple of tools that work on Stack Overflow. JobJet works on Stack Overflow. Something to keep in mind is that most people on Stack Overflow are on GitHub. It's estimated that 92% of people on Stack Overflow are also on GitHub. And it's far easier to find email addresses on GitHub than it is on Stack Overflow. That's just fact. So for me, I don't have it active because I don't search on Stack Overflow a lot. I only do it when I have to. And that's because, like I said, the redundancy is quite over the top. But what I find on Stack Overflow, it's a matter of being a detective and following the thing. So let me do a quick search in Stack Overflow. I'm very organized, sorry, to kind of give you an idea. So we're going to do a stack over, if I spell it wrong, please tell me, Overflow Java developer, blah, blah, Seattle. I don't know if this is going to work. I haven't done this. Okay, so, and the top bunch is a bunch of crap. All right, so first of all, you got JobJet's already open doing its thing. So let's see if we can find a actual, these are, okay, so we're getting a lot of jobs. So let's minus job, I have a CSV for this, but I don't feel like trying to find it right now. Okay, so let's do this one because that's JJ Zabkar. So he's evidently a living person. Okay, so let's look at this. We got his name, JJ, okay, but we know he's a senior software at Tango Card, and there's his LinkedIn URL. Do you really need me to help you find his email address? It's right there. You got to follow the breadcrumbs. Let's say that's not there. Okay, well, there's his Twitter handle, though. From his Twitter handle, I'll probably find his email. So there are things you can do. And then looking at all his, and he's on GitHub, obviously. Okay, so that's his GitHub profile, my bad. So let's go to GitHub real quick. Remember I told you most of them, if they're on Stack Overflow, they're also on GitHub. There's his email right there, which would have brought me back to my original point. When all else fails, remember, 98% of all people will have an email address associated with a username. And if they use that username in more than one place, guaranteed they have an email address there. In his case, he uses it in Stack Overflow, GitHub, and Twitter. And I would have guessed Gmail because that's the most common one. So all you got to do is use my email permutator, and you would have come up with all the different versions of it and test them. Now you're probably going, okay, great. Where's your email permutator? My email permutator can be found in the SSAR page right there. You open that up, you can download the email permutator. As far as testing them, there is a whole section of tools to test emails to see which ones are valid, which ones aren't valid. And if all else fails, just stick it into Pastebin and then use Pitbull and let Pitbull match them up for you. Remember, I already showed you all how to do that. Next. Hello? Are we done?
Yeah,
Did we get
sorry about that, Dean.
No, it's all right.
No, we're still here. We've got a bunch of questions, but we're about 15 minutes over, so I think we're going to call it here, and then we can wrap up with some of the Q&A if we have, we can gather those answers and
all
get
right,
it out
guys.
to everybody. So
got more questions.
For everybody,
Ryan, hang on a minute.
For everybody on the call,
if you have more questions or missed anything, email me and I'll share it with you, or find time to get on a thing where I share my screen and I show you. As far as my email address, it's sitting right up there right now, so copy it. But if not, you should be able to find my email. I'm pretty easy to find.
Okay. Dean, thank you so much. Alicia, I'm not sure if you're still there, but thank you for joining. Thank Lever for making this all possible for everybody. For everyone on the call, give us a couple of hours. We will get you the recording so that you have this. And we'll send you the link out to the page where you can go ahead and download or watch the video itself. Dean, thank you so much. We will talk with everybody next time.
Later.